Here we are in Chyron. Not outgoing Ron, not tiny Ron, Chyron. Oh, fun fact, as I understand from the magical wonders of the internet, Kensu and Asina also appear in other... So this game is by SNK. They appear in other games by SNK. The Psycho Soldier series, I believe, and the King of Fighters series. Asina, Athena. Fun to know. Alright, so let's see what this town has to offer. Don't need an inn. That's good. Competitive prices with the inn and Swan. You're supposed to be injured. Stop talking so excitedly. All this extra information that just is not there in the NES version. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but... The tone of the game, especially in this section, changes a little bit because of all the dialogue changes. What?! I'm Stom, your star pupil! Oh goodness! It was like one of the best parts of coming here in the NES version, because you transform into different people and the wise men chastise you for being vain to change yourself in front of them. Like, that's just a serious letdown. Ah, oh well. Good day, sir. Obviously, people aren't panicked when they see themselves walking around right in front of them, and it's not themselves. Oh well. Maybe my disguise isn't that good after all. Would explain why these soldiers outside of Goa attacked me. Yay, the key to sticks! I get to open a locker full of sticks. Bang them together, play drums. Okay, so I'm off to seek the Sword of Thunder, which is in the Cave of Sticks, which has a wall in front of it that's unlocked. A gate. Buy the key. Got some items. I could use some more magic rings. Those are really good to have in stock. Honestly, anything that recovers magic is better to have in your inventory than basically anything else, and this applies to most RPGs, really, because you've usually got a spell to recover your health, to teleport back to town, any of those other things, and recovering your magic allows you to recover your health, teleport back to town, or any other thing that you could possibly need, and probably in bigger quantities than a single item that just does that. So warp boots? Warp boots are nice to have, but you could buy a Fruit of Power, get yourself a 40 magic point recovery, and have 2 teleports for the item, for the inventory space of 1 warp boot. The warp boots. This cave. We'll go this way in this cave. But we'll switch up the weapon use. We'll go this way in this cave. Yay, magic ring! Free magic ring. It's like I'm at the carnival. On the merry-go-round. You know, the ones that have the brass rings you can grab? Except these are magical. And there are no horses. Love the lava effects. This guy's tricky. Because he's sort of at a weird angle to get around the corner to hit him, so... Again, paralysis would probably be a good thing to try on him there. Or maybe a level 3 attack if I'm really struggling. So, if you're a fan of Crystalis, I have quite a few other games to recommend that are in the same vein, in one sense or another. So, obviously the Legend of Zelda series, that top-down, at least the 2D ones, top-down, running around, stabbing enemies, solving some puzzles, that sort of thing. So that's a good pick if you're a fan of Crystalis. Here's the Cave of Sticks. We'll open this one up. Another one I can recommend. Well, actually, I don't know if I can recommend it per se, but it is stylistically similar. Like, some of the core mechanics are the same. Scourge Hive, which is for both the Game Boy Advance and the Nintendo DS. Top-down, it's sort of like Metroid Fusion in the style of Crystalis. You've got the top-down perspective, you've got the female hero running around, attacking things, switching weapons all the time. There's like an electrical weapon, and then, so you switch your it's like arm gauntlets, I believe, that fire off different weapons, and you can shoot things at different angles. And there's I guess a hint of puzzle solving, but lots of weapon switching because certain enemies are only vulnerable to other kinds of attacks, and you get all sorts of upgrades and special powers as you go. So, not a huge fan of the game. I like some of the ideas. The music's really cool. But if you really like Crystalis, and if you like Metroid Fusion, or like, you know, alien invasion, mutant, sci-fi thing gone wrong, it's worth picking up, trying out. I mean, my wife got it for me for $2-3, so I can't complain. What else is like this? Well, if you... Oh, Muramasa, the Demon Blade, for the Nintendo Wii. Fantastic game. Wonderful platform. Well, it's a fighting game with platformer elements. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up, and there's a little bit of jumping, but it's mostly fighting enemies of all different kinds. But what's neat about it, and where the Crystalis connection is the swords. You get all sorts of different swords with really cool powers, and it's very much like Crystalis in that regard, so that one comes highly recommended. So you've got the Legend of Zelda series, you've got Scourge Hive, you've got Muramasa the Demon Blade. There was also, I'm trying to remember another one, so Jetty, who previously mentioned Editor-in-Chief, who played through the NES version of Crystalis for the YouTube channel where presumably you're watching this, he, I believe, reviewed a game called Soul Blade? I think it's Soul Blade or Soul... maybe there's a consonant in there somewhere, which is for the Super Nintendo, and is sort of reminiscent of this game as well. And he also talks in his playthrough about a game called Evil Quest, so you could check those out. Assuming the first one I mentioned is a game at all, and I didn't just make that up. Oh boy, back to my favorite corner of the mountain. You can position yourself a little bit off to the side so that you're still hitting him with one of your wider ranged attacks, but not actually getting hit by the flail that's flailing in your face. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was one other game that was sort of in the style of Crystalis. I can't remember what it was. I've got goo on my face. I've got egg on my face. So, that's odd. I'm not sure if it's whatever shield or armor I've got attacked, but in the NES game, when you get that goop on your face, it constantly drains your magic power until it dissipates. Very, very devastating. But it didn't seem to do anything to me there. Huh. Yeah, but I feel like there's one other game that I was going to recommend that's sort of similar in some capacity to Crystalis, but nothing is coming to mind. So, oh, well, you've also got games like Secret of Mana, another top-down run-around. I feel like that should be part of a song lyric that I'm forgetting. Top-down run-around. Get a pound of bacon. I don't know. There should be a song. But yeah, that's got top-down running around stabbing things. Secret of Mana. That's one that I tried to sit down and play with my wife. At the time of this recording, we've played 2 sessions, I think. We started 8 months ago, I want to say. Somewhere around there. Not that it's a bad game, but it can be challenging to play co-op with somebody if both people aren't equally enthusiastic about getting back to it, because especially with something like an RPG, it can be really difficult to commit yourself to a game that long. You know, you do a Mario Party, or a Mario Kart, or a Mario insert name of sport here. How that plumber's proficient at so many sports is just beyond me. But you take one of those, and that's an evening, or that's an hour, or half an hour, or whatever, and popcorn fluff, and it's fun. but committing to a co-op RPG, that can be tough. Especially when you get very lost. That's one problem that we were having is we weren't looking at a map or a walkthrough or anything like that until we got really, really desperate. But trying to figure out exactly where to go next, because we kept showing up in places where we weren't quite supposed to be yet. But I guess that's a problem that you can have with Crystalis, too. Yeah, it is a good thing I have my mirrored shield, because this is also not a pretty place to get turned to stone. Oh, let's see. What do we have around this corner? Oh, good. Spikes. Yay. Well, my leather boots protect me from the pokies. Hey, Sword of Thunder. It's in a different spot. I like, in the NES version, they cleverly put it to the right, like in this little random nook that it doesn't belong in. It's like, why is the mighty Sword of Thunder just over here in the corner? Here it feels like this is the centerpiece. This is where you obviously want to go, so of course the sword's going to be there. But I like that they sort of throw you off in the NES version by putting it right there. Makes you explore a little more. Whee! Boing! Ow! At least let me, you know, Goomba stomp him by landing on him or something. Yes. Okay, so, we're back. What do you want from me here? Oh, that's right. We have the Elder. Tomahawk. No, that was one of the Romulans on Star Trek. Tomahawk. Tallahassee. Nobody wants to talk to the guard. Tungsten. Terrell. What was the name of the Elder? The Elder from the first village. In the original game, you have the mighty Azteca, this huge dude who is basically the leader of the wise men coordinating, and spoiler, ancient android, well not ancient, like 100 years old, that's not quite ancient, but android from the time of the construction of the floating tower, as I recall. So that's kind of cool, and now here it's just, you know, Tiddlywinks, or whatever his name is, just random elder dude, giving instructions that I'm sure would have been fascinating to read had I not been talking over them. I am stabbing the villager, I'm so sorry. Yep, you practice. You just keep on practicing. Yeah, the change of tone. They changed the dialogue for the Game Boy Color. And again, the story's more streamlined, plot makes a little bit more sense, it's more cohesive, but there's this sense of dread. I'm just going to speed through to get back to where I want to be. There's a sense of dread in Chyron in the NES version of, you know, Stom is talking about these guys are imbeciles. They're weaklings. They are not prepared for an attack. You know, you're looking at the wounded guys who aren't chatting you up about, you know, whatever cool stuff. Oh, there's this bow up on the mountain. They're like, oh, I'm in pain. I'm injured. There's really this sense that there is a war going on. And these are the people who are really hiding out, and you're not sure if they're going to make it. So I miss some of that texture to the game with the dialogue changes here. Ah, now I'm bouncing off of them. Excellent. Good, good, good. They're sort of coming out of the woodwork. You guys, you lay off a little bit. No, no more. Don't want any more. Whee! Okay, a little bit of composure. We're good. They can't hurt me. They're just kind of everywhere. Oh, tree. Ah! They're swarming me. We're good. We're good. Okay, back to down. I'm gonna... Oh, I missed a chance. I was gonna make a joke. I'm gonna Goa to Goa. Probably best I didn't make that one. Okay, I will go inside the fortress, as you request, and I'm gonna barrier myself. Uh-oh. And it looks like I'm gonna barrier the people of Shyron when I get there. Okay, so you are under attack. I'm gonna teleport to leave, because if you're under attack, I'm gonna obviously need my max hit points and magic points, so let me just stay for the night. I'm sure you guys can hold down the fort just fine. Ah, that feels better. Slept in a little bit late. Sorry, it's like already past noon. I'm gonna go back to, oh, actually, I think there was a shield or an armor or something that I was gonna buy in here. Let's go shopping. Let's see, did I want anything? Did I need anything? Nah, I guess not. Maybe I was thinking of a different town. Okay, so what was I doing? Oh, right, I was gonna go to Chyron. People like under attack. Oh, they're all dead. I'm so sorry. Oh, my bad. Well, let's take a look. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks. Okay. I don't know, passed away is sort of like a very polite, nice, sweet way of, you know, covering up the fact that everybody was just, like, brutally sorted by people, or person, or something. It's like he just decided to lay down on the ground. Okay, I'm going to pass away now. Aw, I like Stom. See, just, it's missing just a little bit of the flavor. Yeah, whatever. There's nobody here to save anymore, so I might as well go on my little side quest to see what special thing, get around, Akahana was talking about. Let's see. Yes, I would like it. Okay, so I now have the best item in the game. So, off we go to heal again, because I've used up a bunch of magic now. Check this out! The Warrior Ring! It just lets you fire off a level 1 shot. Doesn't matter what sort it is. Just when you press the attack button, fires off a level 1 shot. You do not need to charge anymore. And as powerful as the level 2... Oh, everybody's still dead. As powerful as the... Oh, I'm sorry. I need to invoke my Deja Vu playthrough here. Hang on a second. No, dead body! Thank you, that's out of my system now. The continuous level 1 shooting is just as good, if not better than, charging up to level 2 or 3, taking that time to do so. Well, level 3 isn't terribly useful. His attacks are really strong, and it's a lot harder to dodge him in this tinier space. This, in the NES version, this is one of my favorite attacks. Well, it is an attack, but one of my favorite boss battles. Might actually be my favorite boss battle. Just like the speed of it, and it's a good battle. But it's not quite as fun. Little projectiles of ninja stars still flying around there. Oh, now I strike like Thunderball. So anyhow, a little more challenging, not quite as fun on the smaller screen here. Everybody is still dead. You're supposed to pull a Star Wars and, like, you know, the Star Wars games, stormtroopers, you knock them out, and then you walk away, and then you come back, and their bodies are mysteriously gone. Like, why are you still here? It's creepy. Alright, so, level 2, Sword of Thunder. Powerful, strong. Attack pattern has been changed from the NES version. It's no longer an arc. It's not really a curve that shoots out. It's just this straight line. All of the thunder balls are even. Okay, back. Okay. Yes. Now, with sort of wind, fire, and water, you can get just fire them off rapid fire. Sword of Thunder, because there are more projectiles and it takes longer. I guess there's a limit to how many of the projectiles you can have on the screen at once, or they take a little bit longer to clear the screen, whatever the case may be. You can't fire them off as rapidly as the other swords. Which is probably a good balancing factor. That way you're not completely tearing things apart with the Sword of Thunder. I'm like the insect boss from the swamp. It completely alters the flow of the gameplay once you have the warrior ring. And in the original version, you can't initially go to Goa and pick that up. As soon as you're... there's a certain point in the game that you need to wait until... Oh, I'm back here again. We're just zooming through this. There's a certain point that... until which you can't get the item from the person in town. And it's also a dude and not a woman who gives you the item, pretty sure. So it's entirely possible to talk to Akahana, and he says, oh yeah, I left this item back in town, dead. And then you go back to town, we're gonna knock down this iron wall that should be shooting fireballs at me, but it's not. I guess that's okay. Ooh, Power Ring, and that, in the NES version, doubles the attack power of my weapon. In here, I believe it's the same as the Iron Necklace that I never picked up, but will eventually, and the Shield Ring. Adds to my power rating 1 per level. So yeah, Akahana keels over, tells you that you can go back to Goa and find an item, but you can't actually get that item until a certain point a little bit later than that, after you've completely forgotten that there is an item to be gotten. So I guess it's okay that it's, you need to wait until later, because it is a really, really powerful item. But it's sort of a shame that it's so easy to forget about. Blam! Okay. Got a fortress. I kind of like this fortress. At least this part of the fortress. This is like the dungeon crawl. This place is huge. So really stock up before going in here. Great place to level up around here. And I think the maze-like quality of this place in particular really goes hand in hand with the experience, the leveling up factor, because at this point, you're pretty close to the end of the game. You should be nearing level 16 in the NES version, which is the max level and the level that's required to have the power rating to be able to take down the penultimate boss with the power ring equipped. So this is a great place to get lost and level up in the process. And of course, it doesn't matter how many times I play this game, I always get lost at least once, and just forget exactly which one to go around, which is why we're speeding up. Okay, we're back. Let's try this other path now. Yeah, like the architecture. It's simple, but I like the color scheme, and I like the little fortressy thing going on here in the fortress. And around this corner... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's no boss battle music. This is still the battle music, or the fortress music, which, again, is not appropriate fortress music. We're, like, reusing the title screen here. Oh, well. But yeah, there should be boss battle music. That's really a letdown. Kelbesk is my second favorite boss fight behind Mado, at least of the finest four. I do like the final boss, too, as easy as he is. Yay! Kablurm! I'll take it.